Question 10. At what point should I consider filing bankruptcy? I have developed 5 tests to review in order to answer the question, should I file bankruptcy? The first test is, do you fit the definition of bankruptcy? What is that definition? When your income is less than your expenses and your debts exceed your assets. This is the definition of bankruptcy. I have developed a special form which, if properly completed, can quickly answer the test question, do you fit the definition of bankruptcy? We send this form to you in the mail, and here it is. It's 4 pages. And I have found that when many people complete my financial form, they will, for the first time, actually see their situation because they've written it down, and they discover how much debt they owe. And I'm constantly told how amazed my clients are at the amount of debt that they owe. Many do not realize how much they owe. Test number 2. Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? I have found that when a person has $10,000 or more in credit card debt, he or she will start to experience financial difficulties or problems. Yes, people have filed a bankruptcy petition on less than $10,000, and nothing in the bankruptcy code prohibits someone with $5,000 or $8,000 of debt from filing a bankruptcy petition. However, you should not use your bankruptcy option on a modest amount of debt. What is a modest amount of debt? Depends on your financial circumstances and the ratios. I have absolutely found that when a person's total credit card debt equals or nearly equals their gross annual income, they are in need of filing bankruptcy. They are actually drowning in debt. When your total credit card debt equals your annual salary, you are drowning in debt. Test number 3. The cost-benefit ratio test is when all the costs of filing a bankruptcy petition equal no more than 10 cents on the dollar of what you owe. In other words, it should cost you no more than 10 cents on every dollar that you owe to file bankruptcy. Your legal fees, filing fees, appraisal fees should be no more than 10 cents or 10% of what you owe. Most bankruptcy costs range between 5 and 8 cents on every dollar that you owe. Test number 4, the 4th test, is when you are robbing Peter to pay Paul. I've explained to clients that robbing Peter to pay Paul hasn't worked since biblical days and is not going to work today. This is the situation where you are borrowing on one credit card to pay off on another credit card, or the consolidation loans that the banks love to push. The consolidation loan doesn't help when the one payment on the loan to Vulture Finance Company is more than all your smaller payments, or when you analyze the loan and discover you are actually paying more with the consolidation loan than if you paid all the individual creditors directly. Some tragic war stories of robbing Peter to pay Paul, which is really part of the ostrich strategy of putting your head in the sand and trying to avoid the problem and hoping that it will go away, is when someone borrows on their home. They borrow on their 401k plan. You break into your IRA or use your workers' compensation settlement money to pay on your credit card debts, and because you haven't planned correctly or changed your financial habits, you'll still find that you have to file a bankruptcy petition. One sad case, a gentleman owed $40,000 on credit card debt, and he took all of his $25,000 of workers' compensation settlement money and paid off a number of credit cards, but still had to file bankruptcy. If he had just faced the problem to begin with, he would have gotten rid of his credit card debt and, under the law, kept his entire workers' compensation settlement, which he desperately needed because he was over 65 and couldn't work. One more typical war story. The consolidation loan, which is really the result of a second mortgage on your home. Oh, they call it a line of credit. It's a second mortgage. Again, without squarely facing the problems and having a professional and independent objective analysis, you can make your home into a submarine or use your home as an ATM machine and submerge it into debt with no possibility of ever developing any equity in your home, and you still have to file a bankruptcy petition. And what is the difference between a tenant and a homeowner? Essentially, a homeowner owns a home to build equity in the property or value for himself and his family. You might own a home, but financially you might have classified yourself as a tenant by paying on a mortgage payment of $1,500 to $1,800 per month, when if you rented the same house and didn't have to worry about the maintenance, you'd be paying $900 to $1,000 per month. I have seen this happen many, many times because the people just did not want to admit to themselves that they were robbing Peter to pay Paul. They could not face their financial problems. And the fifth test. The fifth test is the sleep test. Are you having trouble sleeping? Are you grinding your teeth at night in your sleep? Are you and your spouse experiencing marital difficulties such as loud arguments, bickering, etc., which has its roots in financial problems? Or are you and your spouse going to marriage counseling? And one aspect of that counseling discusses the problems of paying bills and budgeting. The psychological test is very important because I have counseled individuals who are receiving just Social Security that they didn't have to file bankruptcy because the creditors could not attach their income. However, they just needed to feel that they could clear the record, clear their mind of the worry, and get rid of the frustration. And this is when the creditors weren't even calling them, and they weren't even harassing them on the telephone. The filing of a bankruptcy petition should be the result of weighing the above 5 tests and having an understanding and appreciation of the basic alternatives to bankruptcy, which are called debt management and debt settlement. I have a special website called www.financialdebtoptions.com, and in it we have a wonderful calculator that you can put in your total unsecured debt, and it will instantly analyze and give you back what the financial picture would look like. Also, though, on that website, we have a matrix of all the pluses and the minuses, the pros and the cons of each option. You need a complete evaluation, an objective and complete evaluation, before you can make a final decision. And yes, indeed, we offer that.